Welcome to this wild ride of a special episode, Product Mastery in the Age of AI and ChatGPT. I'm Madhumta, your host. Today's topic is From Pilot to Production, a CEO's Journey with AI. Stay tuned. It is going to be very interesting. So let's dive in right away. 6 months after launch, our support tickets tripled. What caused the spike? Not a model bug, but an unwritten contract. Users expected AI to never mess up. That's the risk when you ship AI. You're selling trust, not magic. Imagine telling your CFO, the model is only right 92% of the time, and watching their face fall. Today, I'll walk you through how a founder turned a trust crisis into an advantage. We'll pull back the curtain on the real work of moving AI from cool demo to daily dependency. Let's dive in. Picture the ops war room, alerts ping, tickets pour in, and someone asks, did the AI just do that again? That's where the story starts and where product mastery is born. Now, you might be wondering, why do these issues feel so personal? Because every AI error surfaces an implicit promise you made. If you're building or buying AI, today's episode will show you exactly how to define and defend those promises. We are mapping the journey from pilot to production, not with hype, but with artifacts, contracts, and battle-tested lessons. By the end, you'll have a playbook you can copy, artifacts you can ship, and a challenge to make it real in your own org. Let's get started. Let me tell you a founder story that's not on any press release. The problem looked small: automate repetitive ticket routing, but inside customers' workflows, every misrouted ticket was a lost deal. One missed escalation, a 7-figure contract at risk. The founder faced a choice: build a flashy demo or solve the boring, hairy problem behind the scenes. Now, you might be thinking, surely the AI just needed better training data? Not quite. The breakthrough was building the first non-demoable feature, an internal audit trail that tracked every AI decision and let ops teams override it fast. That invisible feature saved more revenue than the model itself. In that moment, their DNA changed from demo culture to production rigor. That's where product mastery starts, in the guts of the workflow, not the glory of the launch. Pause and apply. Write down the hair on fire job in your org. Who loses sleep if it fails? Is it sales, legal, or support? And what's the metric they stare at every morning? Because if you want to win with AI, you have to solve the urgent, not the obvious. That's the founder's lesson and your first checkpoint. Let's stop calling it production like it's a place, it's a contract. Gate 1 is problem fit. You need a 1-page decision loop map: who uses the output, what changes when they act. How do you measure success, task completion, time saved, accuracy? Here's the conflict. If your target task takes over 15 minutes or users do it less than 5 times a week, it won't stick. The model might work, but the workflow breaks. That's why so many pilots die after the first demo. No repeatability. Now, someone in your org will say, can't we just define success later? But without this map, you're shipping guesswork, not product. Resolution: nail your exit criteria. Every user completes the target task under 15 minutes, at least 5 times a week. Print it, share it, and stick it on the wall. Technical terms to remember: decision loop. Think of it like a recipe for actions, not just outputs. Exit criteria, your checklist for shipping with confidence. Don't move on until you've mapped the loop. Gate 2 is data fitness. If models are engines, data is fuel. But most teams skip the data readme, the single source of truth for schema, freshness, personally identifiable information, PII, and join logic. Think of it as the nutritional label on your AI. Here's where things go sideways. If your data sample 200 real use cases doesn't cover 90% of real world intents, your model will starve on day one. Drift, bias, and gaps hit you where it hurts user trust. Now, you might ask, do I really need to flag PII or inspect every column? Let me tell you a story. One overlooked column led to a privacy breach that cost 6 months of roadmap detours. Resolution: build your data readme, label policy, and drift watch list. Scan for data drift using a Kolmogorov-Smirnov KS, test, or population stability index, PSI. Technical terms: schema, your column blueprint; drift, statistical change in data patterns; don't feed your AI mystery meat; know your data inside out. K3 is the evaluation plan. Before training a single model, define your eval spec. 5 metrics: task success rate, TSR, factuality at K, P95 latency, escalation rate, and regression guard. Here's the rub. Offline metrics often look great, but production stings. I've seen teams celebrate a 95% lab TSR only to find real users escalate every third case. Why? The human review rubric was missing in action. Now imagine this. Your CTO says, we hit all the metrics. But legal asks, how do you know users aren't gaming the system? If you don't review outputs against real examples, your numbers are just paper tigers. Resolution: bake in a human review rubric and make sure your regression guard, no metric drops more than 10%, is enforced before every push. Technical terms: factuality at K prior measures how often AI matches ground truth. Regression guard and alarm when performance slips. You're not just shipping code. You're shipping a quantified promise. Gate 4 is safety compliance. Here's where most teams get blindsided until the first jailbreak or PII leak hits production. You need a refusal policy, clear rules for what the AI won't answer, and automated jailbreak tests to simulate attack. The conflict: balancing speed with safety. If your red team pass rate is below 95%, you're gambling with brand reputation and regulatory fines. Now you might wonder, do users really care about privacy and safety? Absolutely. One founder shared how a single privacy incident led to 3 lost enterprise deals. That's the price of skipping this gate. Resolution: build an audit trail, automate privacy checks, and enforce PII redaction. Don't leave it to chance. Run a mock attack monthly and share results with your buyers. Technical terms: refusal policy, AI's no-go list, red team, your internal hackers. Remember, safe AI isn't slower, it's stickier in the enterprise. Gate 5 is the shipping contract. This is your AI SLA, the service level agreement, that puts your promise in writing. It spells out accuracy bands, handoff rules, and exactly what happens when the AI is uncertain. Here's the conflict. Most teams skip this step, treating AI like a feature, not a product. But without a public commitment, users invent their own, usually stricter than yours. Picture this. A support lead asks, what happens if the AI is only 80% sure? If you can't answer instantly, you're inviting chaos. Resolution: share a 1-page SLA with users signed by support, legal, and PM. List expected accuracy, what you'll do when uncertain, and escalation paths. That's how you turn fragility into a moat. Technical terms: SLA your public promise. Escalation rate percentage of cases handed to humans. Don't ship until you've got your contract in black and white. Once you've passed the gates, it's build time, but the pipeline events to features, model to policy, UI to feedback isn't as smooth as it looks in the deck. Breakpoints lurk everywhere. Long tail intents, prompt, UI coupling, silent data drift. Here's the struggle, even the smartest model crashes against edge cases. That's why reliability moves matter. Shadow deploy to 5% of traffic, confidence aware UX. I'm 60% sure, deterministic fallbacks, and human in the loop for your riskiest workflows. You might be asking, can boring dashboards really save the day? Absolutely. The founder's dumbest rule, a keyword block list, outperformed their state-of-the-art model in one high-risk flow. Resolution, guardrail stack, start with input filters, pass through sanity checks, apply system prompts, validate outputs with regex or JSON schema, and escalate when needed. Every day, review the dashboard, not for show, but to catch silent failures. Technical terms, shadow deploy test without user impact, deterministic fallback, rule-based backup. In production, boring is beautiful. Let's talk productization. You've built reliability now, earned trust and revenue. Contrastive UX show users side-by-side AI versus manual outcomes with time saved, traceable answers, toggle to see sources. Undo first, design, one click, revert. Pricing must track value, not compute. Meter, the business outcome leads qualified, cases closed rather than tokens. Offer a human review included plan for regulated buyers. Trust is earned, not given. Publish model cards, abilities, limits, and failure examples. Share incident postcards, short public write-ups of issues and fixes. That's how you reduce churn and earn believers. A founder once told me, our pricing changed charging for closed deals, not API calls transformed our pipeline. Another switched to traceable answers and cut churn by 18% in 3 quarters. Pause and apply. What's one UX change traceability, undo, contrastive that you can ship in a sprint? Write your acceptance criteria before this episode ends. Now you've built the product. How do you land real accounts fast? Start with the wedge, solve one painful step, then expand into adjacent workflows. Proof over POCs sell a production readiness sprint. 2 weeks, 3 artifacts shipped, 1 team trained. The struggle. Enterprise sales can drag 6 months or 6 weeks. The difference? Security first GTM. Send your data and process controls upfront. Preempt InfoSec blockers. Win skeptical CFOs. Picture this. Your buyer's nervous, worried about risk, but you hand them a shared risk register, top 5 risks, owners, and mitigations. You've just reduced anxiety and closed the deal faster. Copy this playbook, 2-week success plan, name champions, OPS and exec, and a risk register that's shared with every stakeholder. That's how you go from pilot to production at speed. Technical terms, wedge, the wedge in the door. Risk register, a living risk log. Don't pitch AI, reduce risk, build trust, and own the workflow. Let's rapid fire some founder wisdom. One thing to do sooner. Ship a read-only shadow mode. Slower, over-designing the UI, wait until the metrics are real. Feature you killed. AI auto-reply users hated it, but loved the confidence slider. Their onometric escalation rate, the dashboard page they check every 9 a.m. One cheap reliability win, a 500 rule that cut escalations 22%, no ML needed. Now for your week 1 plan. Monday, map a decision loop. Tuesday, draft your evil spec and sample 50 cases. Wednesday, ship a shadow mode. Thursday, add confidence UI and fallback. Friday, publish your AI SLA and ask users what risk you missed. Pause and apply. Pick the weakest link in your pipeline. What's the artifact you can create by Friday to shore it up? Remember, progress isn't about perfection, it's about visible, defensible artifacts. That's how product mastery compounds. We've covered the 5 gates, the artifacts, and the moves that turn AI into product reality. Here's my challenge. Pick one gate, ship one artifact, measure one real outcome. If you do, tag me and I'll feature the best transformations next episode. Optional bonus. Post a screenshot of your AI SLA and commit to defending that metric for 30 days. There's no better way to build trust internally and with customers. If today helped, pick a gate, make an artifact, and share your journey. The best stories become blueprints for the whole community. Remember, AI doesn't ship itself. It's the contracts, the dashboards, the UX, and the boring but essential artifacts that make the difference. This is Madhumta signing off from Product Mastery in the Age of AI. Next week, your shipped artifacts dissected in real time. Go build something defensible.